their books. It definitely surprises me.
Yeah, it's a nice touch to see this, and it's good for making the story feel more realistic, or as realistic as it can be as a fictional book. So it because if you were to just choose any type of version of John, and no one remarks that he's a man of color, you're thinking, oh, in real life, this is probably not how he would be treated. So that's why, again, like what you said, it's very appreciated that they did make some subtle differences based on which John you had in your story.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. That's just so delicate. Um, so talking about, I think we're talking about. We just took some detour. Like we talked about a lot of books, but also like how the representation matters. And yeah, but let's talk about a book we enjoy. Let's see. So Queen Bee, mm, book one and book two, you listed it. So yep, let's get started with Queen Bee, which is pretty interesting in terms of its unique writing. Its writing is like wow, it what you think inside your head, like in a comedic way, they put it out in their writing. It's just super awesome. So what's your thought on Queen Bee?
You know, before it was released, sometime last year, I think it was, yeah, last year, I've never really been a fan of college drama books, so I didn't even think I would play it. But when I actually started Queen Bee, like I changed my whole mindset about that completely, because it's not just a college drama, it's so much more. And what you mentioned, the way that the story is written is actually pretty funny. I love I love the little humor that the writer sneaks in throughout the chapters. Like it's unique because you don't see something like that in the other books. So it's definitely unique in that, and I love it about that book. So that's something that it definitely does stand out in that way. I also do love how we get this very important character, Zoe, who's basically one of the best roomies that you can ever have, or best roommate you can have. And I do think it's a very solid book. I do appreciate that you get to meet so many different characters, and there's some shady people in that story, but overall, you get to overcome, and you get to go to the very top, and that's in at Belvoir. So it's a very fun journey. It feels like there's just a lot. Like it's like a roller coaster.
I would agree with that. And also, I liked how you named your main character Regina.
You know, yeah. To me, like I was thinking about it because I didn't know what I was gonna name her, but then I just remembered like
Oh
the
yeah.
mean Girl book, and then I just and I also like the name Regina, so I basically just went with that, and I think it worked very well.
Yeah. What's his surname? Is it George?
Oh, Regina George, yeah, in the movie, I believe so, Regina George. I've seen that movie a couple of times. It's
Yeah.
an iconic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I liked your main character's name, Regina. That was really interesting.
I'm glad you think so. Yeah, I didn't even like actually think of it for much. It came up to me because I was thinking about Mean Girls, because
Yeah,
sometimes the book kind of gave me that
similar.
vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
Queen
gives
being
off-
similar with Mean Girls. I mean, way similar.
yeah. So I think that was why it was just like a subconscious thing. I was like thinking about the book while I was trying to name the character, and I just chose Regina, and I'm happy I chose that name because I think it fits perfectly with the main character.
Definitely, it sure does. So
And
yeah, go on. Yeah, go
Which
on.
what name did you choose for your main character?
Name?
Yeah, for the Queen Bee main character.
Oh yeah, I went with Emma because I was like at that time I was coming out of playing my two first loves, and I think their faces are kind of similar. So I thought, why not name him Emma Hughes?
Oh, I think that's really sweet. So you named the main character because of the love interest that you had before. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's and I think you can get to customize their surname also, or like do you just stuck with Hughes, the default surname?
I don't believe the last name was customizable. I think it's just Hughes for all of the main characters. Just the first name can be changed, unless it was different for you.
No, I don't remember. That's why I asked you. Maybe I forgot. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
just pressed the enter button and went with this. Yeah. So then it's not customizable.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, confirming it's not customizable. Just the first name only.
So who's our favorite love interest in this book? I mean, when book one was out, I thought maybe Veronica would be a love interest. I thought Chloe could be one. I thought Carter could be a love interest. But it's now between Zoe and Professor. And also, I think Professor is the one who is a love interest because Zoe is a love interest, but I don't think she gets much time with our main character. I mean, at least as much as the Professor does.
Yeah. So for the first book and the second book, there's definitely a lot of different vibes. But going back to the first, book one, Ina was definitely she stood out to me a lot, and I know sometimes like it can feel like was like the main meant to be the main love interest, and that even though they had Zoe as an option, she wasn't really romanceable most of the time. But I still did enjoy Ina and the interaction. Like I think she obviously there was a lot of relationship problems with her and the main character, but even though she was frustrating, I still did care about her a lot, and I still love her as a character. And she gets better and better each time too. So definitely for book one, I ended up with and then for book two, I also am pretty much mostly romancing her, but then I also decided to also look at Zoe too, because I also really, really do like Zoe as a character, and I think she's very attractive.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I chose Ina too in book one, and I didn't even realize Zoe was going to be a love interest, but Zoe was at the end because you get to choose between Zoe and Ina. Because in book one we get to romance a lot of characters like Veronica, Carter. So I thought maybe they're just flings, including Zoe, and Professor is the main love interest. But then you get Zoe at the end. So yeah, right now I think we get to explore between Zoe and the Professor. I'm highly doubtful, even if book two is the last book, whether they will let us lock our love interest. I think they will, but that would be just the last chapter, like in Foreign Affairs, I think. But we'll have to see how that goes because I think both of the characters are really they have potential and it's hard to choose from. I would say.
Yeah, I know, and and then even like the book two situation with Zoe and how she released the diss track. I love that song so much. When it first released, like I was replaying it multiple times. I love it so much. It's just like such a powerful
Yeah,
track, and
the
it made me
slap.
love Zoe
Yeah,
even more. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. And then you even see her and her. I remember also like the headphones that she had when she was performing her set. That it just made me
Well
love
said.
Zoe even more each time. Like she deserved to shine because she's done so much for the main character, and she's so valuable to that story too. And even the very recent chapter in the nice artwork that they had too. Zoe deserved all of that. She's amazing.
I would agree with that. And also like how they brought that storyline, like Zoe's mom, like how she was trying to influence Zoe's career, but Zoe chose her own career, and now she's getting successful with that. That was exciting, I would say.
Yeah, me too. It kind of felt like it was a bit too fast because even though we were talking to Zoe in the chapter before where she was talking about how she wanted to leave her internship right away because it wasn't going the way she wanted, somehow she ends up next telling us that she has a collaboration or that she's opening for a set for a really good musical artist. So it was just kind of like it went from 0 to 100, but it was
Rushed.
fun.
Yeah, it was like they could have, sort of explained it a little bit. I think that would have been like maybe given that sort of the battle between the argument between Zoe and her mom. Yeah, I think they just didn't show it on screen. Like they like the way they did it, it felt like things happened, behind the curtains. Like it was not on the screen, but like Zoe had some tough time with her mom, and then tough time in the internship, and then things got better, and we just saw the bad part, and then we saw the good part with Lil Nas X and the collaboration. But things definitely went down in the background, but I didn't think they brought it because I also think like too much things they were happening. So I don't know, maybe probably because of that, because we have already the X problem, the professor drama. I think it got just sort of got suppressed by all those.
Yeah, it's understandable too. It was just at first I was a bit confused because suddenly, before Zoe was like a little bit upset, but then now she has this amazing opportunity. But I was still very happy about that anyway. It was such a fun chapter.
So I would ask you this now: what's your prediction about X? Who do you think is the X? Explain. Like I would love to hear your theories.
This is very hard, but a very, very good question. There are several people that I think could be X. First off, possibly Celine could be X. Another option is that the dean of the school could be X. I believe those them two are who I believe could be X. Maybe even possibly Veronica.
Oh yeah, she's been MIA in this book. She's been totally MIA.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but we got to learn more about what Veronica really is like, and sometimes she's kind of a little bit ruthless and not very empathetic. And the main character noticed that in like one of the earlier chapters in book 2, and it surprised me because I thought she was just kind of like the type of person where she cares a lot about her follower count and she's like obsessed with the social media stuff and everything. I didn't realize that she was like heartless too sometimes. So that's why I'm a bit suspicious of her. Like maybe she's doing something in the background. Like I don't know what it is, but I think those 3 characters might be involved.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, go on.
I'm not really sure if I think there was another character that I also thought could have been X. I can't recall now, but definitely I know with Celine and the school dean and also Veronica are what I think would be some pretty good options.
About Veronica, I mean, yeah, Veronica has come off as a heartless person recently. Like how she dismissed one of the, sorority girls in earlier chapter. That was kind of not like Veronica, how she was represented in book 1. But also, she's not been, on screen for a long time. So let's see, we get her back. And yeah, Veronica's suspicious. And Celine, she's the new girl, but yeah, definitely. But about with the dean, I mean, I also suspected her because, she says, I don't read the tea, but, immediately, a couple of chapters ago, when the ex or one of the ex follower, I think Bella Velvet, wrongly accused our main character that we were doing drugs. Just within minutes after this post dropping on T, the Dean texts us on or emails us that, hey, see me in my office. You're doing drugs. So that was quite fast for a person who doesn't follow the T. So that's suspicious. But also the way X writes. I mean, that language, like it's so modern and stuff. So can the dean like write all this stuff? Like she's like a boomer at this point. If you don't mind to say
Yeah, I know. Like I don't think she would be writing in the story in the style that X writes. That's a very good point because they write more like someone who might be in a younger generation, and that is a very good point too. I'm just wondering, like, that alone, would that discount her from actually being X? I'm not really sure. And I also just remembered the other person that I suspect could have been X. Remember how there was a character that dropped out of Belvoir named Persephone Dalton?
Dalton, I know, I know. I suspected her also when the book was being released. This book too, yeah. First one, Dalton.
And I was even thinking that it could have been Benji too. So it definitely like so that means it kind of goes up to like maybe 4 or 5 different suspects or something. I'm thinking, all of them seem like they have the motive to do something like this.
They do have. But yeah, and Celine, and also, did you play the last chapter? You did. You have the playthrough, right?
Yeah, I did. That last chapter was very surprising for me. I'm still just processing it because
Yeah.
it was so much. It was a lot.
Yeah. But correct me if I'm wrong. When we entered the Apoidia special house where we literally played Among Us, didn't they say like the top 15 was there and one of the top 15 is the X? Didn't they say that?
That got my attention immediately because I was like, okay, now you guys are letting us know what's going on here. or maybe that was like the big hint that we get for who X is. And now that we know, if that's in fact true, that X was in the murder mystery game, then it takes away the Dean from the possibility of being X.
Yeah.
Assuming that.
Yeah, Celine isn't even a top 15 and she was there, so wow.
That was weird. I don't know why Celine would have been there because wasn't she not considered the top 15? So that's why I was a little surprised that she was there, but I like her character anyway, but Celine is looking a bit suspicious, especially because you don't think she would have been part of like the competition with the top 15, but she's somehow there.
I totally agree with that. Let's see. And also at the end, Chloe. I mean, Chloe is coming off as a dumb character, but is she dumb or is she pretending to be dumb? What do you think?
I also think about that sometimes too. It depends. I don't think that. I believe there was a moment where Chloe was actually pretty smart. It was like the finale of the first book where she got this difficult question and she answered it pretty correctly. So I thought that was kind of funny. So I don't think she's like necessarily stupid. I think she's just maybe being like that because she's expected to be that way as a sorority sister maybe. I'm not sure what it is exactly. I might even be wrong. But I think that sometimes she could be pretending to be stupid. Or she has her moments where she's smart at least.
Could be. And what about Poppy? Do you think is there a possibility she being X somehow, or is it out of the park?
I don't trust Poppy one bit because it seemed like at the beginning of that second book that she was a target also, and then now she's framing herself as a competitor of X now, and that she's gonna protect the main character from X. But I don't believe her because she pulled off that amazing stunt at the end of the chapter. So now I'm just very suspicious of Poppy as well.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
well, she could even be working with X too, and if she's not working with X, and she's playing X's game, and she's not, and I don't think she will do well in it.
yeah. That was the kind of backstabbing that she did with our main character at the last chapter. I mean, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was it was pretty bad and pretty surprising too. It just happened so quickly,
Yeah,
especially because he had the intimate scene with her before, and like in the room or closet that they were hiding in, and where Celine was found. So I didn't think it was like going from 0 to 100,
oh
having
yeah.
Poppy be like, yeah.
Oh,
So that was crazy.
now I regret not taking that scene because I think if you take that scene, you get some dirt on Poppy that you can use later. I was suspicious, like, what would this say in a scene? Like, you can use this against Poppy later. I was thinking, wait, Poppy is with our main character, then and we are partnered up. Then why do we need dirt on Poppy? She didn't do anything. I mean, I was a little suspicious of that, but I said, I'm not gonna take this diamond scene. And then it was like, oh, that betrayal. Now I don't have it, so I can't use it against her.
I understand your thought process about that because when we had the truth, it didn't seem like it was that important. But I think with Poppy, we always have to be on the lookout for dirt on her because you never know what she's doing. So that's why for me, I always like took those chances because I knew that Poppy is unpredictable. She's not loyal. So that was kind of why I took it. And because I figured, due to what happened at the very end with the competition changing and the contestants, I'm assuming that the dirt that we got on Poppy will be used later on to displace her. So that's my prediction for that, at least. I don't know if it's going to be enough to like displace her, but she's going to be using it to hurt Poppy at some point.
Yeah, I think we're going to throw some sexy party and stuff. So, and there we're going to use the dirt on Poppy. But yeah, I agree with you there. I think we're going to, dethrone Poppy again, and we're going to get back in the race. But we'll have to see. But you see, X has gotten a lead on Poppy also now. So even if we get back in the race, then I think we're going to be equal with the X.
And generally, Poppy was kind of hated by most of Belvoir, so I just don't see how she thinks she's gonna win. And obviously, like, we didn't even see how she's competing yet because it was just announced like at the very end of that chapter that she's in the running now for the competition. But she doesn't strike me as a very likable character, and a lot of the students were complaining about her. So I feel like if it was a choice between X and Poppy, I do believe that a lot of them would probably vote for X. That's just something I would see happening more likely, or maybe it could end up being like a close race where they're both really close in votes. But I think Poppy has become very unlikable. That I don't see it as an easy thing for her to win the competition, especially because she's at 500 points and main character was like at much higher than that. So she's already starting off at a disadvantage, which makes me think that she's playing into, if she was working with X and took this plan, if she indeed did that, then she's at a disadvantage and she might be playing into X's hand and may actually like lose in the end. That's just my guess, but I don't really know. It's just weird how that happened too.
Yeah, that was so fast. I mean, I would agree with you there. I think something like that will happen. I mean, moral of the story, by the end of the next chapter, I think we are going to get back in that, like the ranking system and Poppy will be out of there. But how it's going to happen? I think what you said, we're going to use the dirt, and and Poppy is not the most beloved one, so something will happen there, and we will get back our place. We'll be the queen again. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking about that recently with some of my friends, and I just had this feeling that just because of the way that Pixelberry has and like writes their stories and like the type of plot twists they have, there could be a technicality or a very big event that happens in Queen Bee that will displace Poppy from that competition, so that we go back to it, so that we can continue beating X in votes. I don't know what would cause that, but I have a feeling that the dirt that we got on Poppy could be used to start that. Because I think it would be weird if they actually kept Poppy in the running the whole time.
I don't think that's going to happen too. I mean, I agree with you. Something big is going to happen. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it though. Like I really really do like this second book, and you know how the first book gave off Mean Girl vibes. The second book gives off Pretty Little Liars vibes to me.
Oh, you watched the show, Pretty Little Lie. I love their theme song.
Yeah, me too. I love that show. I watched like every single episode. It was like one of my favorites years ago.
Yeah, it's like Pretty Little Lies. You're right. You can't trust anybody, and it's truly true. Like like it's the safest way to keep a secret is that if one of them is dead. So that's what is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you don't really know who to trust. You can't even really trust Celine. I feel like the people that you can trust are those that you recruited into your posse in book one, which Zoe is a part of. I mean, even Veronica's a part of it, but I don't really trust Veronica. So that's why it's even more complicated, because you can't trust any of them really.
Yeah. Like everyone is wearing a mask. There is like who would have thought Carter would be helping them? That was.
Yeah, I know. Carter's like, he's supposed to be like a teddy bear. That's why I was like so surprised.
A lot of things happened at the end of last chapter, but yeah, we will see in the next chapter. I'll be waiting for it.
Me too. You mentioned the party that they're gonna be having, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or Bacchanalia. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I remember that. I'm excited for that actually. I don't know who would be hosting it then. If if the main character is not the like queen anymore, then would that mean Poppy's hosting it?
I think the main character, because it says when a queen goes down, she doesn't give up. She throws a party, a sexy party or something. That's what the descriptions say. That is, I think, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. That's a very good clue then. So that means that if the main character is hosting it, then and I wonder if they're gonna be having like a sacrifice like they did in the first book. That was awful.
That was Zoe. Oh man, that was pretty awful. Okay, so that's about Queen Bee, I guess.
Yeah, Queen Bee definitely. I'm very looking forward to next week, and the week is also hopefully gonna go by fast, so I can get here Wednesday, and there's gonna be a lot of new chapters, or actually two new chapters that I'm very looking forward to.
Me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to Queen Bee. And after Queen Bee, we have. How'd you like this book, Wolf Bride, so far? So, I think we talked about the characters a little bit, but overall, what's your thought on Wolf Bride?
I think Wolf Bride is very, very controversial. I also don't want to say anything negative about any of the characters, but Bastion does creep me out a lot. I'm not gonna lie. he's not my favorite character, but my hope is that he improves and that he
He will.
stops like flirting with the main character as much, and that he realizes that I'm not going to be bonded to him or staying with him at the very end of the book.
No, yeah, you're always gonna have the choice.
Yeah, it's a good book so far. I like the supernatural elements of it. The wolves too. I think that the wolf art is also really cute. So it makes me smile when I see the characters turning into a wolf. Even like when the main character was having a dream of her wolf form. I think those are really sweet moments. I do like the book because you know, one of the little things that they have is that the werewolves are the protectors of the earth or of the environment. So that is something that I have a lot of respect for. So there seems to be this conflict between protecting the environment when it comes to the to Bastion's people, and then versus Sayer energy and power. So far I do like the book. I played all of it last time, and I think it's a solid book so far. It's solid. It may not be my favorite book, but I think when it comes to that book, Morgan is what makes it worth it for me.
I totally
Like
agree with that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the bond that she has with Morgan is very important. And when it comes to Bastion, compared to the main character, he's like the character that's in a position of power, and he's also he can be aggressive at times. But then you have Morgan, who also can be aggressive at some point. But she seems to be on a journey of self-discovery, just like the main character is. I feel like her journey throughout the book is going to become more and more similar to like how the main character is. And I feel like with that, it alone, it makes you much deeper to Morgan.
I agree with that. I mean, personally for me, I have seen like it was what you were saying. Bastine definitely like you need to understand like yeah, I think Morgan is going to be a wolf too, and so is our main character because we're apparently seeing in dreams, lucid dreams and stuff. But so far, Bastine is a werewolf, and he's like an animal, right? So the whole thing. I think if that happens, I'm seeing it like Bastien is like he wants the alpha like for animal like it's mostly about male. We have this conversation like our main character wants to be the equal, but Bastien's like not ready to give our main character the equal sort of acceptance because he thinks it would make him less in front of the pack. I think it's still pretty early, and I think we will both explore each other worlds and we will meet each other halfway through. That should happen. At first, I I would have been surprised if Bastion was like normal person, because he is an animal, and animal instinct is it's like the aggressiveness, the wolf. It's but still I would say Bastion respects the main character because in the last chapter after the duel, when we try to get closer to main Bastion says, "I can't take you right now because you need to meet me, and if we meet halfway through, then I will accept you." So that is really cool. Like it's not like we're having an intimate moment and then like, oh no, we can't do it. Yeah, so that's pretty good, I would say. But I hope we meet halfway through. And with Morgan, I believe Morgan is still working with the bad guys, and the whole Morgan thinks werewolves can be changed or it's a disease, which is not. It's like what they are. You can't change something. So that, like you said, it's just like in My Two First Loves. But Morgan will see it eventually, and we will be working together. And by the end, I think we'll have a choice, because in every book we have, so like who to choose, whether to be with the pack. And if I think we will stay with the pack maybe, or maybe we can go to the city, and if we go, like, with whom we go, with Morgan or Bastian, because I think we all are werewolf, like, our wolf, at least, from, like, because our main character is a wolfkin, we know our main character is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to, like, how it happens. But so far, it's good they're going to give these characters a development, because I feel like all the characters have some, misunderstanding, some flaws, and I'm liking this because, like I said before, the development, like how they grow, I like it. So I would like to see how the relationship develops with both of them, Morgan, Bastine, and our main character, how this triangle works out.
Yeah, me too. It's a very interesting book in that way, and it's definitely worth it. And especially with, the fandom has either they like Bastion or they like Morgan, but they tend to be very passionate about who they like.
I like both.
So it is, worth it in that way. And when it comes to the romance, and generally the love interests that we have usually aren't considered to be villains. So that's why I also it points to the fact that Morgan and Bastion may not hate each other as much later. Even if you like don't even really know anything about the book, because Morgan herself, like if she's really involved in a company that's destroying the environment, she must come to her senses at one point.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I mean, there is some animosity, but it wouldn't be good if there were not animosity. Like if there were no problems, then it wouldn't be a book. So I think, yeah, it's definitely, and with also supernatural beings. I mean, I was reading this book, I don't know, Halloween Bites or something. It's a freshman, freshman holiday special book for Halloween, and Caitlin is a vampire in this book. It's just a two-chapter holiday special book. So we're having a conversation with the professor, and he says, yeah, we view as the supernatural characters as from the stories in literature as vampires or werewolves, like sort of like the sexual attraction toward them, or just steamy apart, like we have craving for them. So I think they made a supernatural book with like a love triangle, and how we have a connection, like both of them make our hearts pulse. So just exploring them, I think it's just exciting. And so far I'm liking both of them in their own way, Morgan and Bastine. And just because they're not normal human, because this is really interesting, because we just don't feel our own emotions, but we also feel what Bastien's feeling at the same time, what Morgan's feeling at the same time. And also Morgan's blind. That's a good representation by choices again there. And even we have the lucid dreaming. So in this lucid dreaming, we are spending time with Morgan. We're at the beach, we're at the house, but it's not clear. It's like a negative of that, just how a blind person would see. So it's like from their point of view, we're seeing the world, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I thought that was a very beautiful scene. I really appreciated that too. And like what you mentioned earlier, seeing both the main character and Morgan as wolves, that's giving us clues about like what type of being Morgan is and the main character.
Yeah.
So that's something that I think is so exciting to see. And even the representation for the types of love interests that we have. I believe Morgan might be the first love interest that has a disability. I'm not sure entirely, but I do believe she may be one of the first. I think it's very unique, and I'm very happy that choices went in that direction, because even though Morgan is even though even though she's blind, she's still such a strong character. She still does everything on her own,
Yeah.
and she has like so much determination, and she's inspiring.
Again, like, she tells us how her father, was tough on her, but that was how she's not, trying to rely on anybody now. So that's all. Like you can just personally learn from them. Like maybe like how Morgan is fighting with her difficulties, which I really liked. Like you said, I admired that about Morgan.
Yeah, I know. I respect Morgan a lot just for that alone too, because she didn't have that upbringing that was, heartwarming or anything. It sounded like for her, it was just like a strict type of upbringing, but it made her into a very strong person who has become very independent. So, I just love Morgan even more for that too, and that she looked on the bright side of it. That she wouldn't have been able to learn to do a lot of what she does had she been brought up in a softer way.
Also, choices is really going sensitive. Like, when we go to the treetop and we were blindfolded by Morgan, and we see the beauty with our, other senses, and then we finally open up, we see the beauty, and they have a, description. You see the beauty from up there that Morgan will never see, and I felt that line. I mean, wow, literally felt that.
Yeah, I know. It was emotional, and even with the track, the background music they played during that scene, it also it also made me feel something too.
Perfect occasion, and it just makes you feel emotional, happy, and just appropriate. Like whatever emotions they're having, with that emotion they give it music, and it's so touching.
It is like the combination of the well-written story, the dialogue, and the music that it's playing. That together like helps. It changes your emotion. That's what I really love about choices. That they're very good at that.
Yeah, so I'll be waiting to see what happens with those guys. So far, with 5 chapters. Yep. I mean, I hope like the predictions I made, it's going to be like that. But yeah, I would love to see. I would love to explore how this goes.
Yeah, me too. I didn't really talk about Bastion much, but I appreciate him for what he is. He's a leader, and his role is tough. So even though he can be very forceful and annoying to some of the player base, that's kind of how he has to be. Like he doesn't have a choice but to be the alpha and to expect obedience from other people. So that's why I don't have hard feelings towards Bastion. So I appreciate him that way. He's not my favorite character in the series, but I also don't hate him or anything. I think he's all right. I'll just say that for now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and if he changes over the course of time, just like our father from MTFO, yeah, that's just that'd be good.
Exactly, the character development and improvement. That's a very good part of choices that they've had in many of their books.
That's what is my favorite thing too. I mean, I have seen a lot of characters developing, and this is just what you like about when you see the characters developing. I'll be glad if they do it with Morgan and Bastion here in Old Pride.
Exactly, and if you can kind of guess that it would happen because as the main character learns more about. Remember the Night Order that was hunting the werewolves?
Oh
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like we can.
Yes, Morgan was also affected by that, I guess.
Yeah, so I feel like once we, discover more of that, we can find out what's really, really going on. And when it comes to the fact that the werewolves that were taken never returned, Morgan will have to answer for that, hopefully. And maybe we'll start to find out more and cover if something's going wrong.
Yeah, and then I will see like just Noah, Mason, and MC work together. I think we're gonna have to work together, like Bastine, MC, and Morgan. They'll be working together at some point, and then the chemistry between the three of them. I would love to see how they interact with each other.
Yeah, I know. Definitely. Like at first, the animosity between them it's funny and entertaining sometimes, but it's also kind of annoying when it's the character that you're not romancing. I mean, some people are also romancing both of them at the same time, but I always love to see the character development and evolving as the story goes by.
Let's see what happens for best wishes for
Yeah, definitely. I'm so glad that I chose to do a replay of it too. Like, at first, I wasn't thinking about it, but I really do love Morgan as a love interest. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna go back to this, and I'm glad I did because when I first read it, I don't know if I paid as much attention, but when I read the book the second time, I feel like I'm noticing more of the little details, so it's helpful.
I think I chose the same Morgan as you too.
Oh, really? Yeah, all three Morgans are absolutely gorgeous.
Oh yeah. Specifically when they take off the glasses. Oh, they look super awesome.
Yeah, I know, and when there was like the character teasers that Pixelberry released
Yeah.
had pictures of Morgan without her glasses, and the eye color was the same for all three versions of of Morgan. So a lot of people were able to tell that maybe Morgan is blind just from that alone.
I was not. I didn't even see this coming. Like she was blind. That was a shocker for me.
The reason why I knew was just because when I looked at I searched online like the three different versions of Morgan without the glasses, and they have the same eye color each.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the hint for me that Morgan is blind.
Yeah. It kind of looks, like it kind of looks weird when she, sees like that. So yeah. But I didn't understand until that chapter when she was like getting serious about that, and I felt sorry for her, right? Yeah, because she was managing this well without even the vision. And even she was even better than our main character because our main character was about to step on branch and she just cleared the branch from our way. I mean, that's just how she is working like a normal person, even though she has like she's not letting her disability stop her from doing anything other people would do.
Yeah, I know, and that's why she's an inspiring character to me. She gives off so much energy, like passion for her work. She has a lot of strength, independence. She doesn't let her disability stop her. She doesn't let her blindness stop her from anything, and she's still very graceful because she's able to detect like her surroundings based on sound and touch and everything, and she does everything very well on her own already. So I really do admire Morgan for that as well.
So, after Off-Ride, I think we have Shipwreck, right? So, what's the thoughts of Shipwreck?
Shipwrecked is becoming one of my favorite books ever. I've already read more chapters because I have the VIP
Yeah, you're in
subscription,
chapter
and
13, I guess, or 14. Yeah, I was following on that.
which chapter are you on?
I'm currently, I mean, I myself am on chapter 5, but I have seen your playthroughs and I have seen one character make a comeback, and stuff. But yeah, I'm currently on chapter 5 myself.
Yeah, this book is a roller coaster, like completely. That's what I can use to describe it. There's just a lot going on. Like it's like they can't get a break. Both both the main character and Manu. There's always something crazy going on, or their life being in danger. And but I do enjoy it a lot because it's the adventure aspect and
Yeah.
having the love interest be having a very hard shell and not really open to romance at the very beginning. then hopefully she warms up more and more to the character and the way she is. Um, when that happens, changes, because that's how it is for the other books too. Like when you have the love interest that's very closed off, it takes time to open up their shell so that
Exactly.
they can
I,
be hooked.
I love those kind of books, like where they take some time. Because if we hit it off instantly, then I don't think it's much fun. But it takes time. There are walls, and you need to lift the walls, and there is slow burn. There's burning passion, and then suddenly you get close, slowly, slowly. So that's really good. And I don't think any other choices book, and even if you take trilogies or even some books that have spin-offs, we spend this much time with any love interest. I think it's mainly about just the two characters. I think we really get to know our love interest inside and out. Because in some books, for instance, the Heist to Monaco, I thought we needed more time with Sonia or other love interests to get to know them a bit in more details. But in this book, we actually get to know our love interest so deeply. We have heart to heart, we have intimate moments, we have the passion, also we have the care for each other. I think in terms of your love interest, it's just a great book, and you are stranded in a beautiful island. It's dangerous. There is adventure, but the views, the music, I mean, it's just super awesome. I'm liking it so far.
Me too. I didn't even, I had no idea what kind of book this was going to be, other than we would be on an island. But when you play it and you finally like see the chapters, it's different. So I'm really enjoying it as well. And the love interest from this book is also probably one of my top 10 favorites.
I would say probably it's like my top three love interest. That is
Top three?
yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm glad that you like Manu a lot too. Like, I don't even know how a lot of others feel about the book, but I know seeing you and like me, for instance, like we both grown to like really, really appreciate Manu and how they are as a person. And I think that they're a wonderful love interest.
Yeah, I saw your edit. I think your last post is about like, and that was she was looking super awesome. And I wish they added that Manu on, like at least art scene or something, because that edit is super awesome. Like the Manu you chose.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That edit, like the last one that I have in my account, I like to make some of the characters look more realistic. So I use several apps in a row to. I use the character as a base, but then I change it to make it look more like like a person. So that was my intention, and I think it turned out well.
Yeah, that's pure dedication. It came out so well. I understand what you mean. I mean, it was the same character, Manu, but it was looking more realistic and more, attractive. Like wow, wow, like a real photo.
Yeah, definitely. There's like so many different types of edits that you see in the Instagram Twitter community. Some of them stick to just the character art strictly, and others will make a realistic version of the characters. And sometimes you'll see like a lot. Sometimes there's been a lot of fan fiction too. Like there's a lot of different things on Instagram, a lot of fun content. So the realistic edits are something that I thought about like starting this year, and I really do like it, just because although I still like editing the original character art or the design into an edit, I still also like making a realistic version of them too.
You're slaying it. The Charlie Smith and Manu, these two realistic edits are just spot on from you.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. You know, the Charlie one that I started a few weeks ago, I did two realistic Charlie edits that day. The first one I thought it was cute, but I wasn't as satisfied with it. So I tried again that day to like improve on it. I used a different type of photo anyway, and I was very happy with how the second one turned out, because it's not the character art, but it still looks a lot like Charlie.
I know it looks like that. it is like a Charlie, but in like a realistic version of her, like how she would have looked in person. So that's really amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's something that I really, really like seeing, just because I have so many screenshots on my phone of my love interests because I just appreciate them so much. So I like seeing the obviously the original character art from the app. So I have pictures of those, but I also love seeing the realistic version of Charlie. It's like you get to see another dimension of her.
That caught my eye. I mean, I really liked it. It's just like like Charlie was like it was just like like you're taking someone's photo, not like it's just a character you created. I appreciate that. And if I ask you to name the top five love interests, who would you list as your top five love interests?
I love talking about my favorite love interests. I'm glad you asked that. So my number one favorite would be Charlie Smith.
Okay, Charlie.
Charlie, there is so many amazing things about Charlie. She was the first love interest in that book that didn't completely treat you like a suspect. Like at the very beginning, like she was willing to give you a chance, and I loved that part about her. That she's also nurturing. That's something
Yeah,
that I really value in love interests. She's
yeah,
brave, incredibly caring, but she's also very strong and she knows how to fight. So I just love that. She's like the whole package in that way.
yeah. No,
So Charlie Smith is number one.
sure.
Although this book is not as talked about as much, my second favorite love interest comes from Across the Void, and it's Kepler. I love Kepler so much. I think she's amazing. She's like really rare as a female love interest. Most of them have like very long hairstyle, and they tend to be more on the feminine side. But Kepler, she's very different, and I would love to see more female love interests in the future that have that type of style.
Yeah, Kepler, I liked her. Yeah, you're right. Like she was like a fighter, like but a female one, so she can protect you and stuff. Like she was really strong and also hot-headed sometimes. I really liked her character and how she was designed. I mean, I like instantly fell for her. I think she didn't come in the story until chapter 5 or 6. I wasn't feeling the bond with Titania or the others on board that much, but when
Yeah,
she came, I was like, gotcha. I mean, I got my man, I got my woman. She's the one I'm going to romance, and that was good. Like she was added later.
I've replayed that book a lot, by the way, but I remember the exact chapter. She actually introduced in chapter 6, and then Meridian was introduced in the chapter before that, which was chapter 5. So both him and Kepler were introduced a bit later. I believe that the very first one we saw was Soul, and then we saw Titanium at a bar. And I know what you mean. I don't really feel a connection to the other three love interests as much. I think, Titania is she's absolutely gorgeous. I do still love her character, and I do still romance her, but I do prefer Kepler by far.
Yeah, exactly. And Kepler is just
And
like,
I also didn't ask you about Across the Void yet. So I didn't even know that you picked Kepler, but I think that's awesome.
yeah, Across the Void was a book I also finished last year. It was an interesting book, sci-fi book. Not a lot of sci-fi books are there, but yeah, Kepler. I also saw your edit about Kepler, by the way. Yeah, so I chose her. I think the book kind of it can play as your main character, also as your sister and your brother. I think playing as a sister and brother kind of for some reason. I think if I had just played more as my main character, it would have been better. I think we would have spent more time with our love interest or the characters. But also, I think it was rushed at the end because I don't still feel Like I know completely what happened to the Jura and Vanguard, like why they were fighting. Because I've heard like they released this book and they were planning for a book too, but then nobody really liked it. Then they just rushed it off and finished it, and they went into long hiatuses twice when this book was being released. But yeah, I mean it's a sci-fi book. I would love if next year they come up with a sci-fi book.
Yeah, I've been saying that so many times this year. I really, really want to see another sci-fi book from Choices. Like, I really, if they release one, I will buy every single Diamond Choice. I'm not even kidding. Like, I will get all of the premium choices because I love anything sci-fi. I mean, obviously, it has to be decent sci-fi content, but I consider the Across the Void to be good. And it may not be the best book, but it's still good in my book. It's probably when it comes to my top 10 favorite books, it would probably be like number 9 or 10. So it's not my number one favorite, but I still love it so much. Not only because of Kepler and how unique she was, and you know, going back to how I feel like there's not as much diversity in the female love interests, and you know the way that they present themselves and their personalities. I would love to see another interest that's similar to Kepler. Like I would love to see that, but the artwork itself and the music from Across the Void, I loved all of that.
I love that too. I mean, I would love to see Kepler more. Maybe a side holiday book they can make. I don't think they're gonna do that, but it would have been good. But yeah, also Kepler's like her homeland and her character, how also we gotten to know about her background. I learned to know about her, so that was interesting.
Yeah, I know. I love that scene where we got to go to the sacred temple that Kepler used to visit with her mom, and she recited this poem about like the goddess that the temple is for, and I thought that was absolutely adorable. I love that scene. It was probably chapter like I think it was chapter 7 actually. Yeah, chapter 7.
You don't remember the chapters. I'm guessing you're a super fan of this book.
Yeah, you can say that. Because I replayed it a lot because of Kepler. And it because I was also disappointed how there wasn't a book 2, but I understand why there wasn't a book 2. And your feedback about it, we really the book should have cut down on playing as Eos and Pax because playing as them was kind of annoying, and I felt like it added too much because they had so many interest in that book. So it would have been beneficial to the story to just keep the main interest we play at and having our 5 love interests. Like that would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I think that would have like improved the Across the Point experience. So even though I know that it had some very big faults, I still do love the book for what it is.
I totally agree with that. That would have made it more like interactive. So that reason I think it was kind of at some point off for me. But whenever they did our main character and we got to spend time with our love interest, specifically Kepler, it was like wow. I was waiting for it. But yeah, but it was an interesting book. I hope they do something like you said on sci-fi genre. I would love to read that too.
I know, like I think I also no, I did. Yeah, I wrote that in the choices survey that we got this year that I would love to see a sci-fi story being published. I would be so happy if that happens. Even if it's next year, if I have to wait next year, I would be happy to see that.
Yeah, 100%. I would love to see it. Okay, so
And then
yeah, go on.
were you gonna talk about the other interests?
Yeah, so you mentioned Shirley and Kepler so far, so it's the list.
Yeah, Kepler would be number 2, and then my third favorite is Eva.
Sorry, who was your third? You said.
It's Ina Kingsley.
Oh, good Ina.
Yeah, I love her so much.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
spent so much time with her in book one.
yeah. She's a
That
nice
to
character.
me,
Yeah,
yeah, she's really sweet. Like we spent so much time with her. That's why she grew on me very quickly. Like there's so many scenes that we get with her. That's what matters is because when you see the character more, you get to make a stronger bond with them. Especially compared to the love interest where you don't really have a lot of scenes with. You feel like you can't really connect with them. But obviously with this, it's mostly a single love interest book. Aside from Zoe, so that's why that's one thing I like about the single love interest books. They really focus on the bond between you and the main character and the love interest.
I know. Like there's more time to bond with the love interest you like, because in some books like Nightbound or some other books, like I love the love interest, but I didn't really get much time with them. So yeah, I see what you mean there.
Yeah, and then the fourth favorite one I would have, what I would say is definitely Manu Natelli. I love Manu a lot.
Yeah, 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 that character is super awesome. Like the dry humor, the banter we exchange with them, and also like the chemistry between us, the dynamics. Being stranded alone here is just. I mean, I don't think there could have been another character that could have replaced Manu or that love interest. I love it.
Exactly. Manu is very complex, but she's amazing in so many ways. I'm very glad that this book was released because I had no expect. I did not know what it would be like, but it was very good. It turned out well so far.
Manu. Okay. What's your fifth love interest?
The fifth one. Oh, let me know. Are you able to hear me clearly, like on your side?
Oh yeah, I think there was a disturbance 2 or 3 minutes ago when I said, "Can you repeat that name?" When you said Ina, I didn't hear it, but now it's clear.
Okay, so the audio is clear as of right now.
Yeah, it's clear. It's crystal clear.
Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. I just wanted to make sure. So my other favorite love interest is Gemma Montgomery.
Oh, from a very scandalous proposal, right?
She's actually in that story. You're right. In the funny thing is that the character design is not even the one that you see in the end of
Oh, oh,
the
sorry. You said Gamma Moncha, right?
Yeah, yeah, Gemma Montoy.
Eva Moncha, sorry.
No, no, no. You're completely fine. I know they both have the same last name, but Gemma Montoy was also seen in a very scandalous proposal, but she
Oh,
looked different. Like she had a different design.
and she's
But anyway, she's one of my favorites because the time period the book is in. There was the suffrage movement,
your
and
voice is breaking
about
down a little bit. Your voice is breaking a little bit.
oh, okay.
No worries.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. It's been 2 hours, so yeah, internet is also, like the.
Yeah. So with Gemma, what really drew me to her is that she's very carefree. She knows that in her life as a woman, there's a lot of restrictions. She doesn't take what the criticism that other people have towards her to heart. She still stays true to herself. That's what I love about her a lot.
She's a strong woman who's not afraid of like the society, or who's like, hey, marry a man, like get a husband. So the contrast there, how it's shown, I think that also makes the Gemma character really interesting, and our main character, you know, the dynamic they represent. I do love that too, and Lady Gemma is a really brave character. And why wouldn't she be? She's, I think, cousin of John, so there's just the whole family is very brave.
I agree, and some of the characters are very modern in the way that they think. specifically Francis himself. He's definitely not what I would say is close-minded like some of the other characters. John he's very modern in his thought too,
I love it.
especially when it comes to the British Empire and how he's willing to go against what many people in like the period as their opinion that they supported. He's strong in that he has his own opinions and he firmly believes in it. So definitely John, he stands out a lot with that too.
And also he's also very nice. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Now I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, like some stuff happened. Yeah, so I said huge. He also a really nice character, no? Like very polite.
Hugh, yeah, I really do appreciate Hugh. He's like the perfect ally.
Yeah.
You get to see the different types of social classes in that story. Hugh being of the normal class. I appreciated seeing that. There's a big contrast with how Hugh was being treated at the time compared to how the nobles would be treated. He wasn't afraid to stay true to himself. He has dry humor. Like he's just a really likable character overall.
Exactly. This was really interesting. And the way, like we said, it represented the unexpected years. It was really good. So your top five love interests are, just to say, Charlie Smith, Kepler, Ina. No. Yeah, Ina. Then Manu. Then Jamamancha. Right.
Yep, those are my top five.
Interesting. I would say my top five. That's hard. Like I have so many love interests that I love. That I would say first I have to say Emma, because that was my first book and I absolutely loved the book. I love the character Emma. I mean, she's just a perfect sweetheart. And my second love interest, I would say, is from America's Most Eligible, Jen. I mean, how can I not love her? I mean, I was just when I first started this book, I was like, wait, Jane's not a love interest. So I thought maybe she's not going to a love interest. I was really sad. Now, chapter 6 and chapter 7, we didn't get anything. But later in the chapter, maybe it was 12 or something, we get like for a kissing practice. Jen says, you can, practice kissing. Like, I can help you. And then I didn't have diamonds. So I just played random books, first chapter to get two diamonds, two diamonds. And then finally I got like the, diamonds that were needed to play the scene. So I still remember. I mean, it was really interesting. I loved Jen and the whole America's Most Eligible book. And number three for me would be, of course, Manu, because I haven't enjoyed any other love interest like her. I mean, she would have my first love interest if I hadn't read, just for the nostalgia with Emma and Jen. They're the number one and two. And number four is definitely Charlie Smith, because Charlie Smith, last year, like I said, she was my favorite love interest. And number five, Ina Seth. I mean, I loved her. I mean, the music they played in the background in Foreign Affairs when we're having a moment with Ina, that was just absolutely awesome. I mean, Emma, Jen, Manu, Charlie, Ina. These five are like so far my top five love interested choices.
So I'm not familiar with Emma, but it looks like we have two of the same ones that are my favorite as well, which I think that's really, really cool. Charlie is very well liked. And Manu being a very, very new, I can just tell that she's pretty, but very likable. But the love interest you said, they're all fabulous. I can see why you like them.
Yeah. Did you play Foreign Affairs? Are you familiar with Ina?
Yes, I did. I played Foreign Affairs. I had no idea what to expect of the book, but I was happy to play it just because there was new content It felt like there was a slow period where there wasn't really as many chapters being released at one point of the year. So when we got that book, finally we get new content. So I was happy, but Ina she stood out to me the most, and she ended up being my love interest for the story as well. I think Ina is absolutely such a sweetheart. She's also really nurturing. She has like all of the qualities that I look for. She's definitely more of a sweet kind.
I would totally agree with you. Anna's definitely a good love interest. I liked her, and she's the love interest that I liked so much this year until I played Shipwrecked, of course. I mean, Manu and Anna this year, they have been fabulous for me, and Charlie last year, and then when I first started playing Choices 2019, that was Emma and Jen. So yeah, so that's all about my love interest and choices. Like I just top five. I mean, I do like other love interests so much. Like I like the Sonia from the Monaco, the heist Monaco, and I also have some other love interests from here and there. Just can't name them. Of course, I liked Sam a little bit, and then some other love interests I do have. Oh yeah, from the Save the Date. Uh, Forgot her name, but yeah, like there was only one girl love interest. I liked her, and of course Lindsay, right?
Yeah, her name was Lindsay. I loved her too. She's beautiful.
She was the last. She always. I loved as a main character to love Lindsay. I mean, yeah. Do you need help? Do you need me to help you out of the situation? She was adorable.
She is like she's absolutely adorable. She's like a teddy bear. I don't see anything bad about her. The scenes with her too, I thought those were adorable. There was one where we got to go on I think it was a boat or a cruise, and that was very fun. I don't know if you remember that scene, but I thought it was very cute, actually. A little romantic scene that we got with her.
Which scene did you say? I'm sorry.
So there was a scene in Save the Date where it was kind of like a vacation that the character and Lindsay took. I think they were either on a cruise boat or something, and I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was a very romantic part of the chapter. And overall,
Remember that.
oh, you remember?
I think because I played it March this year, so I think I kind of remember that scene which you're talking about. With I think it was Lindsay. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, that one was my number one favorite scene in that book. I probably will want to replay it just because I kind of forgot some parts of it, and because I want to see Lindsay again.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I think we have covered some grounds. I mean, it's already 2 hour 18 minutes. I will see like if I can edit it into one part or like I need to make two parts, like that my storage will tell the story. But I think you listed some stuff, I listed some stuff. I think we covered as much ground we could have, but I think there's still left. So, do you have still anything to add? Like before, I think that's for it. But we have still like a lot of things to discuss that we didn't discuss yet. But I think it would take 1 more hour. So what do you say if we like if you're free next Saturday or something like we continue it on? Because I think it will take 1 or 2 more hours solid to go through all the stuff like with like the time. What do you say?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to do that, like a part two, because, like you said, we didn't get to all of it. That to me, I'm open to that. I would love to do that.
Yeah, that would be good because I think we didn't even start with the unexpected heiress, and we just talked about the love interest, and there are other books. So yeah, I mean, if we do it next week, I think we will killed Amelia in the Unexpected Heiress by next Saturday, I believe.
Yeah, I think we might be close by that chapter. I don't know if it's going to be solved right then, but we're definitely pretty close, and the drama is just going to keep building more and more as they, approach the marriage date. So yeah, definitely a part two would be good.
I think next chapter we're gonna solve the murder, and then last two chapters is going to be for the marriage, and which I think good because we'll talk about. I don't know if I've read Veil of Secrets. It was mostly about like the murder. We did have some scene with the love interest, but we didn't have that much scene, and So I think they are working on the murder mystery here, but also they're focusing on the love part. So they're giving last two chapters for the love interest. You get to settle stuff, and the drama with the wedding. Like you need to tell them like you don't love Francis and you love someone else. So I think this is really good. But yeah, point is like yeah, part two would be really good.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to do a part two. Talking to you about this stuff is really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm sometimes I could be a little nervous about speaking, but this was not scary to me at all. I loved it, and plus, it's very easy to talk to you. And it's great to have a part two because the Unexpected Heiress is probably one of my top 5 books too. Like it's such an amazing story, very quality story too.
Oh, I love it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I can't even go this far to comment on this book. Shipwrecked is pretty new, but so far, The Unexpected Heiress is for me the book of the year. Because I don't think I saw this, but I mean, we'll talk more about this. Because I think we just talked about the love interest and some characters a little bit, so just grazed it, but we didn't really talk about it. So yeah, like there's a lot to talk about. The Unexpected Heiress. There is, of course, more Queen Bee if we are going on Saturday and some stuff. So yeah, I would love that. There is more potential in this book.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then we're gonna have that chapter for Queen Bee. So then we're gonna have even more things to actually discuss. That would be perfect.
Okay, so do you have anything else to add or like double down on anything that we talked this episode so far? I don't think I have.
No, actually, I did want to say I appreciate that you told me your favorite interest. It's very fun for me to like ask people and I'm always like curious about what their choices and love about the book. So it's really that was really nice to hear because you didn't like Emma it made me want to read the book. So I actually started the chapter and I was like in the first chapter too. Because like innocent girl in that first chapter. So I'm interested to see how she changes later on in the book.
Definitely see that. A lot of characters at first you would think like maybe wouldn't play a big role, but they become like a love interest or like become a big part of that.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm excited for that too. I did not think I would play that book, but because I've talked to my other friends and they told me that they also really loved the high school series, so I didn't give it a chance and I didn't even really read it, but I do want to read it now at least.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that would be super fun. And I think we just talked about the favorite love interest, but I would love to talk about favorite antagonists, favorite books, and maybe some books. Yeah, about all those things, and favorite side characters like Dion. I think in Foreign Affairs and stuff. So I would love to see like who you like or favorite moments. We can talk a lot. We can talk about a lot of things like this, and still we have the Unexpected Heiress to cover. And I think you mentioned laws of attraction and some other things that we didn't cover, but I'd love to cover, and also like the Tumblr fandom and stuff. But I would love to cover all those in our next episode. So it's like coming soon.
Yeah, exactly. The new ideas that you just said now, like a few seconds ago, I didn't even think about those. Like the favorite antagonist, that's like a perfect question, like a perfect topic. I love that. And even favorite side characters, people don't usually even talk about that a lot. They usually just talk about favorite love interests. So I would
Yeah.
love to also have that discussion about side characters. And definitely, of course, Laws of Attraction. That is a very solid book. I'm very happy with it so far.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Definitely.
It's
Yeah, so
all
those are all wonderful topics for the next episode.
yeah. I mean, it was really good to have you. Like it's like 2 hours 25 minutes, but I don't know when the time passed. But I would love to have you again to talk about all this. And I think we just started talking, and there's still like so much left. Like I had topics jotted down. Like I had topics from like that I jotted down, and like you sent me, I had those written down. But I think we just barely covered 50%, and like, it was fun talking to you.
Yeah, I know it was so fun. You know, I consider myself to be mostly a quiet person, so I was pretty nervous, but this wasn't scary at all. Like I'm very happy that I took this opportunity to talk to you on the podcast. It was amazing. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you. I had fun as much, as you did, and thanks for joining. And I would love to have you again. And just so before you go, again, I will be linking Astra's YouTube channel where she uploads her playthroughs, which are very specific and awesome playthroughs, and specifically looking for a female love interest routes. She has you covered. Go check out her playthroughs. And of course, for her awesome edits of Charlie Smith, be it Manu, the love interest of Shipwrecked, and other edits, various lot of edits and other stuff she does on her Instagram channel or Instagram account. I'll be linking that below too. So check her out, check her works, and definitely. And thanks again, Astra, for joining. I really appreciate it. It was a fun time.
You're very welcome, and thank you so much for also inviting me too. Like I really appreciated that. This has been such a fun opportunity for me, and I'm looking forward to the next one too.
Pleasure's all mine. I mean, just I'm looking forward to next Saturday too. Now, I have sort of sheet where I had written down the topics, so I'm gonna use it again. It's gonna be fun, I know. And meanwhile, thanks for taking some time to join in your morning. Have a great day. I wish you a good morning and a good day ahead, and just enjoy the weekend and stay safe. Take care, and I'll see you next Saturday to talk about choices.
Thank you. You too. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you so much for this opportunity again. Your podcast is amazing. I love how you have guests from the fandom that talk about the books, everything. And you even talk about, side projects that fans have created, like for the It Lives series. There's so much. So I appreciate your channel a lot.
Thank you. And likewise, like I like what you're doing there, and I would like to see more playthroughs. And I don't know, maybe you can do some voiceovers, just some suggestions I'm giving you. I would love to see what you bring out there and your awesome edits. And as new love interests we get, what do you do with them? What edits you bring? I'll be excited to see. And I'll be excited to hear from you again next Saturday. I'll be looking forward to our conversations.
Yeah, me too. This has been such a great morning for me, actually. Such a good morning. And I appreciate that you are looking forward to everything that I have planned for the future. I really do feel honored by that. And it makes me smile that you enjoy my edits. That makes me really happy to hear.
Definitely, I do enjoy from the bottom of my heart. I do enjoy the edits from the bottom of my heart and the playthroughs. I mean, I'll be looking forward to it. Okay, so I think that's we gotta say goodbye and just enjoy choices, enjoy your life and your daily day-to-day life. Best of luck. We will see each other Saturday again to talk about choice. So before that, we will discuss a lot of stuff that will happen on Instagram and other places. But yeah, stay safe. I'll see you.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. Bye.